Okay, you give your hard-earned money by way of deposit to a real estate agent. Can you trust him? We're going to talk about, or her. Can you? We're going to talk about this morning trust accounting with real estate agents when you pay your deposit.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning. Pop down to
How are
the
you
Bank
feeling?
of Trust this morning.
Look at that. Is that where you slept last night?
Yeah, I sleep real safe in this beautiful place.
Look, I think for some people this may be obvious, but for the most of people, in part, not obvious. That money, like
Yeah.
you're giving often 50,000, 100,000 to a real estate agent, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is my hard-earned money. Can I trust where this is going? Is it the right thing? You call your solicitor, you call your broker, you ask, you check, you ask your friends. Real estate agents' trust accounts. How safe are they, Billy Bob?
Such a good question. And if you're only doing these transactions once or twice in your life, it's extremely scary to do it. Make a big deposit. I remember when I did my transfer of deposit, there was like this, your bundle of cash that you've been saving for your house for 3, 4, 5 years. Sometimes it's someone's lifetime, and then your savings goes from a nice healthy balance to zero almost because it's all left to go to your deposit. It's the strangest feeling.
It's strange. And now I've got to start. I've got to start with a couple of things. It's not a normal trust account. So, sorry, it's not a normal account. It's called a trust account. So it's regulated by the authorities. So real estate agents have to pass police tests. They have to pass a annual audit on that account. They are at liberty to reconcile that account on a daily basis, and at the end of the month to reconcile that account fully. It's a very, very regulated account. So what you find in part, the actual reality of it going bad is quite low. And what I mean by that, out of all the real estate agent transactions in New South Wales, agents that have meddled with trust accounts, you'd probably be able to count out of all the agencies. I think there's something like 4,000 agents in New South Wales, 5,000 agents. It's very limited that happens. Most part, people generally always get their money back if it happens, but it is safe. All in all, what do you think, Billy?
I think you're actually most vulnerable on the stage from when transferring to having it land in the trust account. So where we see things get a little bit hairy is actually before the money's even in the agent's hands. And what I mean by that is we're all very aware now that scam incidents are such a huge part of our lives. You've got to be so careful when it comes to triple checking all of these digits and triple checking that the agent is the person sending you the information that you're receiving. But there has been scenarios in the industry where people have actually sent their deposit to the wrong account, and the email or the text message from what the agent was sending has been infiltrated, and someone's managed to change the end destination, and that's really tricky.
That's a great one.
As an agent and a buyer, because the agent no longer has a deposit in trust, and the buyer no longer has a deposit in their account, and somehow it's gone elsewhere, and that's what you've got to be so careful to watch out for.
So I think the most important thing with money transfers these days, guys and girls, is they normally have a second authenticator, which I'd also recommend a third authenticator. So if you're going to transfer money to an agent, I did it on Saturday with a client. I WhatsApp them I said, there's the account details. I SMS them. It's another part of it, another verification. I emailed them, same number.
Yeah.
And then he called me and read the numbers back to me. From his mobile phone, I could see that was his number. So, and it was, I guess for 340 odd thousand. So it's a really good way. But all in all, I do have to say it is quite safe. Agent's trust account. You don't hear of it going wrong considering the amount of transactions that are going on out there.
Yeah.
But you're right, that digital world is where it sits to be most vulnerable.
Call the agent. I think you can never be too safe as well. Don't rush the process when you're at the point of making your deposit. You've worked so hard to get to that point in the first place. Often you've paid your 0.25% deposit. That's great if that's already cleared in an agent's trust account, and they can see that. That's a really good sign that you've got things right the first time. Double check that what you did for the first time, and then do the remainder of your deposit. But just make a phone call. Just double check. Be careful, guys, because as you say, you don't want to land yourself in a place of bother with this. And it does happen. Not often, but when it goes wrong, it's really wrong. You know what I mean? It's a huge volume of money to be moving.
It is. And don't forget, they can assume your phone number. These guys are getting so good. It happened to an accountant I know where he was responsible for a lot of people's accounts, and his mobile dropped off, SIM card died, and it was
right.
like, what happened? And what they did is they assumed his number, got the SMS verifications, and did some banking. So it's pretty advanced out there. But we're not here to spook you. It is a very, very safe process, the real estate agent's trust accounts. If you are paying rent, if you are paying bonds, if you are paying deposits for properties, you should feel at ease that trust account is regulated by authorities, is constantly checked and monitored. And there's a huge onus and responsibility from real estate agents to manage those correctly and properly. So
I think that's really well said. Another couple of questions I get from clients is what's the process if both solicitors and parties have agreed to a release of deposit? How easy is it to get a release of deposit?
Yeah, so normally the deposit doesn't get released back to the purchaser because that's the whole stake. Normally, if there's a deposit release, it's always a deposit release to the seller, and the seller will use those funds to potentially buy something else, put a bond down on a retirement village, or they spend it. So basically, that does get released. Normally, agents withhold their fee within the trust account and release the balance. That seems to be the norm these days. But certainly, it's happening more and more with deposits out there.
And does that worry you?
No. Look, from what perspective? From getting paid or from the security of the purchaser?
Just the security, knowing that the purchaser's deposit is now being used for a deposit on another home by the seller.
No, it's normally, it's been happening for eons, and it's always safe. It's quite a convenient way of use of money, because when that money sits in trust account, that 10% deposit on the purchaser for property, it doesn't get interest in that trust account unless it's invested. So it's rather being used for a good cause. Something also I get asked about off the plan deposits. People get creeped out when they put a deposit down for a property off the plan because they think the developer's going to run away with it. I do have to let everyone out there know that those deposits don't go into the developer's account. They more often than not will sit in the real estate agent's trust account the whole time. And you definitely want to invest that as well, because it's in there for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years sometimes. So you'll get a bit of interest. Interestingly enough, if that does get invested in an interest-bearing trust account, an IBT, the purchaser and the vendor share the interest that was gained through that period.
50-50?
50-50.
Ah, it's a beautiful world. And more often than not, we find most deposits are not invested. When it's something like a 6-week settlement, it will sit in trust for 6 weeks.
Yep.
What's the process to get it invested in an interest-bearing account? Is it the same? Same process?
Both solicitors have to agree and instruct the agent.
2 sets of verification. Oh, there's balloons. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, balloon time.
So everyone has a party at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Well,
That's a show. Have a good day.
Sure.
And what are you doing today, Billy Bob?
Kicking off a new week. We've got new properties to see this morning. Some really cool stock coming on, and follow-ups from the weekend.
Awesome. Have a good
What
one,
about you?
everyone. Oh, I'm just gonna catch up now. It's been last week was a massive week. We finished off with a couple 11.5, the beachfront selling in DY, and Victor Glass selling for 2.32. So just got that beachfront one had over 230 buyers on it. So dealing with that many buyers through a campaign, I feel like now I can breathe this week.
Yeah, and let everyone know. Get back to everyone. Tell them results. Tell them we'll
Absolutely.
get something else. Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
Have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. See ya. Bye-bye.